factorize this completely. Alright, so all of us know, right? Step 1 is to find a factor, okay, or find a root, and that involves what we call trial and error, isn't it? So we put in x equal to 1. Nah, it doesn't equal to 0. Put in x equal to 2. Nah, it doesn't equal to 0. Put in x equal to 3. Hey, wait, hold on. You don't really put in x equal to 3. Alright, the numbers that you're going to try are supposed to be factors of the constant. So this being a 40, there's no point trying 3 at all. Alright, because 3 is not a factor of 40. So, well, it will not work. Okay, so no point trying. So 3 or 5, these are the numbers that we avoid. Now, in any sense, we probably don't need to go through the entire thing of try and error, you know, like really put in numbers, because nowadays our calculator all comes with a function that can solve cubic equations. So that's kind of helpful as a hack if you want, right? It's like it's a little bit cheat code kind of thing, but well, nobody really knows, because people are just going to think that you really did your trial and error. So you use a calculator, and then you go to your qubit solver and you put this in. Immediately you get all the 3 answers anyway, right? So you're going to just choose one as your so-called trial and error one, okay? One of them is a -2, which I guess is the one that's a little bit more convincing, because the rest are like 4 and 5, they're like quite far away. So usually we don't test all the way to 5, you get what I mean? So, well, I think -2 sounds convincing enough. So you probably write something like this. They say, okay, h minus 2 is equal to 0. Really not much. To be honest, I don't even bother trying, because it's from my calculator and I trust my calculator to be correct. So if you put in -2, it will work out to be 0 anyway, okay? So I just write this down without really trying it out that it works, okay? So you gotta have the faith of your calculator. Right, so there you go. So you write something like that. Well, since, therefore, x plus 2 is a factor. So step 1 is done, right? I mean, come on, we found a factor. Once we found a factor, things are much easier now, right? Because we can use the factor to try to break down the polynomial to get the other factors. So what I mean is, well, of course, then I understand my hx is going to be equal to this times something else, which this something else must be a quadratic, isn't it? So this quadratic has to be something like this. And eventually this is going to look like this after you expand it, right? Because that's the same fx. So this is a step whereby, well, there are quite a few different ways to do it. What do I mean by a few different? One of the ways will be something like this, and then you can try to so-called compare to find a and b, and then you found the other factor, which may be fast for some students. The other option is to try to do a long division, which is, well, take this, divide by this, you get this, which is also quite simple to understand, right? But long division is something that's, well, pretty long. That's why it's called long division. So, but that works. Well, or some of you who knows how to do synthetic division, or you can do that as well. So I'm a big fan of synthetic division because, well, I think it's a lot faster. So since I know that this is a factor, I just need to get the other factor. So like I just mentioned to you in a very quick manner, we have at least 3 ways to do it. Okay, so I'm going to use the synthetic division way, right? So I have x cubed, x squared, x, and then a constant. So there's a 1 minus 7, 2, and then the 40. So it'll be a plus here, and over here there's a minus 2. Right, so I'm going to bring down the 1, and this will be minus 2. I get minus 9, and then I get 18, and here over here I get 20, I get minus 40. So there you go. Well, definitely faster than our long division. So this is our quotient. Right, so we say, well, therefore that implies that my hx is actually equal to x plus 2, x squared minus 9x plus 20. Alright, now you would have gotten this yourself, really, okay, if you've done the long division or you done the comparing coefficients, okay, so it works. Alright, well, is this completely factorized? Well, chances are it's not, right, because when we first use our calculator for the first step, we realized that there were 3 answers. 3 real answers. So therefore, definitely this is factorizable, and well, this factorizing is going to give me the other 2 answers, which you saw in the calculator. Well, this whole number, right? So it should be quite nicely factorized anyway. So let's just try it. Okay. So quite nicely factorized. We have x and we have yet another x. So something times something is 20, and somehow it gives me a 9. So I think 5 and 4 sounds like a great idea. So minus 4 and minus 5, I will get positive 20. At the same time, I get negative 9. So there you go. This is it. This is completely factorized already.